Megan, it is Wednesday. You're back at work. How lovely. March the 3rd, I believe we're on, and we started the day talking about the news from President Biden yesterday that there will be enough doses of vaccine to have every adult in the country vaccinated by the end of May. He says that's what he's ordered as long as production can handle it. Beautiful partnership between two rival pharmaceuticals putting together more vaccines than one of them would be able to make on their own. So, so we're moving ahead. And so again, you complain about, you want to be able to go have dinner. And you say, up to 30% of the country is not interested in getting a vaccine. You tell, of course, another stupid story about your friend in Miami who was in a cab and the cab driver didn't want to get a vaccine. You're not doing the State of the Union in Bill Clinton years where you have to point to, a regular person in the crowd to make a point. And again, it has to be your friend that it does. We don't care. We don't care. You could say, I get the sense that a lot of people, blah, 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 just do it without telling the actual story, do an extrapolation. And I don't care about your friend Poo Poo or Pookie or whatever the hell your friend was in Miami, who I'm sure is a lovely person, although being friends with you makes for a questionable character, in my opinion. It's just my opinion, Megan. So, you say that the messaging was bad about all the things that we can't do when we get vaccinated, and there's no hope. And Whoopi gave you a little lesson, and we've talked about this before when you've complained about it. That with this initial rollout, we need to reduce the community spread, and we need to have more of the population vaccinated before we can start letting down safeguards. We're just not there yet. The faster we get everybody vaccinated, the faster we will get there. And I don't know why. I don't know what messaging you need to make that message more clear. It seemed pretty clear to me, why they're giving the advice that they're giving, that when we get to, a larger number of vaccinations, then we will be able to have bigger gatherings. And and they are finally now saying to people, in small groups, people who have each been vaccinated, can get together. All they've been doing is making sure before they recommend something that it's safe. So, it's going to happen. And you'll get to go to dinner again. I know I don't think you're starving. I know I'm certainly not by not being able to go out to eat. And if anything, it's just gotten worse because all the food is here. Anyway, we move on from that. The next topic you chimed in on was about Taylor Swift getting mad at a Netflix show for a joke that they made about some characters cycling through boyfriends like Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor opened herself up to a lot of discussion about her private life by making her private life so public, and writing songs about her private life and not making it a secret about that. Now, granted, she was very young when she did that, and maybe didn't understand the consequences of what she was doing when she did it. And yes, there is a ridiculous standard that women are held to that men are not, that is wildly unfair. And you want to get rid of the word slut altogether, which is just stupid. Would you prefer whore, promiscuous, no one actually said the word slut about Britney Spears. They just said she dated a lot of people. And I tend to agree with um, Sarah on that little topic. Why not just own that? Yep, it's the truth. Um, Dated that one, didn't work out. Thank you. Next, if we're going to talk pop divas, uh, that's your history. Own it and say, yeah, okay. I dated a lot of guys. I was just, testing the waters. It's okay. People are allowed to do that. Nobody's shaming anyone about that. It's just a comparison. You're going through a lot of boyfriends. So what? The thing that we should be teaching women is that they don't need to be searching for a relationship. That shouldn't be the be all and the end all. That it's just finding the one isn't the journey that you should dedicate your life to. It's this is the one. Be okay with this first. Take this journey before you start trying to tie someone else into it for the rest of your life. But you of course learned a lot from Britney Spears about how women are treated, because you didn't see any other examples of that in life besides what you've learned from the Free Britney movement. I don't know where you've been or what you had your eyes on, but yeah, women have been treated horribly long before Britney Spears was around. So I don't know what that comment was that you learned it from Britney. And then you go on a tirade about, you, Meghan McCain, co-host of The View, and the fact that you're the media, the cultural response to your program talks about your relationships between each other, things like this that I'm doing right now, that wouldn't happen if it were a panel of men. And then you complain about being the focus of a lot of that attention because you say you're the only conservative commentator on mainstream media. I don't think you understand what the definition of mainstream is. Mainstream is in large swaths of cultural recognition, or in some sort of set of in a conventional, if we're talking about media, it's it's conventionality, whatever we want to say. The words are failing me because it's just so mind-boggling to me that when you talk about mainstream media, like if you're excluding Fox News, it's one of the highest rated news channels there is. So if a lot of attention and a lot of conversation is driven by that media, isn't it part of the mainstream? It's all fabricated, right? It's all based on lies. So it's not really news. It's just, it's mostly just propaganda. But it's widely disseminated and widely believed. I would think that would be part of the mainstream. So I don't know what you mean when you talk about mainstream media and complain about it all the time, considering the fact that you are mainstream media, which Joy did point out. You were on the cover of the New York Times Magazine as the most politically important program on television. You're the #1 rated daytime show. And again, Meghan, you're using your platform as what you call the only conservative on mainstream media, on the #1 daytime program that is the most important political program as determined by the New York Times Magazine. And you're using your time to complain about how you're treated in the media. How is that advancing any kind of agenda or cause or standing up for your political party or your ideals or like, you know, if we're looking at the Britney Spears thing, or if you're looking at you know, how you're treated, I believe you tweeted the other day, what was it? You know, if all you're doing is looking for hate symbols, you're part of the problem. Well, if all you're looking for is criticism, you're part of the problem. Like, not Britney Spears. I think I said Britney Spears. I meant Taylor Swift. But I don't get how you have this gigantic platform and you waste it. You just waste it by complaining about how other outlets and how Twitter treats you. Who the fuck cares? I mean, use the opportunity, right, to advance whatever it is you want to say. Your analysis, because you call yourself an analyst, isn't getting airtime because you're too busy complaining about how people talk about you. Well, if you wouldn't complain about how people talk about you, maybe we wouldn't talk about you so much. But you like to be talked about. And you like to be on camera. So I guess that's, you know, this year when you said on our first show that, you know, your big agenda was to get paid maternity leave for women. I think you've now expanded that to men, but expressly it was excluding men at first. And I don't know what you're doing to advance that, because all I've seen from you this year so far, and I realize we're only a little over 2 months in, is complaining about how the media treats you, complaining about how the media treats the GOP, which is basically you, in your opinion, because you're getting lumped in with crazies and that upsets you. But again, we'll have that conversation about until the GOP is willing to expel the crazies and openly defy all of that misinformation. You're stuck with that reputation. So another, you know, classic Meghan, I'm going to waste my opportunity and complain, and then probably come back tomorrow to complain about being criticized for complaining.